This is the world's largest supercomputer, El Capitan, with over 1 million CPU cores and 10 million. World's largest supercomputer, El Capitan, with over 1 million CPU cores and 10 million GPU cores at its disposal. Some might call it blazingly fast, but Google just unveiled a new quantum chip named Willow that can fit in the palm of your hand and solve certain problems septillions of times faster than this future dinosaur. To put that in perspective, a problem that takes Willow 5 minutes to compute would take El Capitan this many years. That's more years than the age of the universe. Even if you had an El Capitan supercomputer for every grain of sand on Earth, powered by a Dyson sphere around the sun, it would still be many times slower than Willow. But the Americans aren't the only ones making breakthroughs in the quantum computing field. Just days ago, China introduced a record-breaking 504-qubit superconducting chip. After seeing this big number, people on the internet started freaking out because a computer this powerful could break unbreakable encryption algorithms and steal all those Hawk Tuah tokens that you just
Wait, hold on. True?
load your life savings into, but that's ignorant. By the end of this video, you'll understand how quantum computing actually works and why it still totally sucks as of today. It is December 10th, 2024, and you're watching.
Does that mean, Chad, that they'll have to redo encryption entirely?
The code report. On one hand, quantum computing could lead us to a utopia that unlocks fusion energy, artificial superintelligence, and immortality with nanorobot doctors, but it also poses an existential threat to humanity. Computing at this speed means that unbreakable encryption algorithms are suddenly rendered worthless. Any hacker with a quantum computer could instantly brute force your RSA encrypted communications on the internet, or worse yet, crack your wallet seed phrase and steal all your daddy tokens and NFTs. But despite Google and China making some big breakthroughs, this technology is still nowhere near being useful. To understand why, you first need to understand how quantum computing works. Classical computers, like the one you're using right now, rely on bits, binary zeros and ones, to process information. Each bit represents a single state, like a light switch, and you can combine them together to do complex things like stream this video around the world. Quantum computers also use ones and zeros, but put them in something called a quantum bit, or qubit. The key difference, though, is that they can represent the quantum superposition of multiple ones and zeros at the same time. Like, you can imagine a qubit as a box with a cat inside, and when you open it, there's a certain probability that the cat will be dead or alive, but you don't know until you open it. Mathematically, the equation
it's like 3D bit
looks like this, where A and B are probabilities, called amplitudes, that the qubit will collapse to a 0 or 1 when measured. And that means one qubit can represent a ton of information and compute in parallel. What's really weird, though, is that these qubits can become entangled, where the state of one qubit is directly related to the state of another, even though they're physically very far apart. And that weird behavior can be used to coordinate computations using quantum gates. They can do things like flip a qubit and create entanglement to provide a similar purpose to logic gates in classical computers, but do so by leveraging quantum mechanics magic. It sounds awesome, but the big problem is that qubits are extremely delicate, and they consistently produce errors, with some qubits having higher error rates than others, and that means they constantly need to deal with error correction to keep the thing stable. Not to mention, these chips need to be kept at temperatures near absolute zero to even work, so don't expect an Apple quantum phone anytime soon. Now, one thing that's special about Google's Willow chip is that it's able to find qubits with high error rates and reconfigure them on the fly.
Chat, what if somebody makes that computer, chat, and breaks everything worldwide instantaneously? Like, they make the big ass computational machine, plug it into the wire in the ground, and it does every worldly things instantly.
Therefore reducing the overall error rate. And what's especially weird is that the error-corrected qubits get exponentially better as they get bigger, and Willow is the first chip to ever do that. Another big problem with qubits is that they need to be aroused into a state of superposition, and can only maintain that state for about 20 minutes.
That's a movie I'm gonna make, chat. Guys, I'm gonna make a movie, okay? It's some guy who makes his computer, and whenever he clicks enter, it solves everything, finds every password, breaks every system of all computational systems that are on the internet webs across the world instantly. And now he has to find out, what do I do first and how do I not get caught doing it? Boom. And he starts hacking to grandma's computers and stealing all the money.
Microseconds in the past, but on Willow they've increased it by 5 times, up to 100 microseconds. That's still not a lot of time, but Google's next big milestone is to build a long-lived logical qubit. Willow.
And then he gets caught. Because there's a girl he really likes, and he gets like nudes off of her phone, right? Without her consent. And that's his one mistake, the Coomer mistake. And even though the guy is now like a massive overlord of the world, he loses to a single booba picture. Boom.
only has
Cinema,
105
no?
qubits, but can still perform certain calculations like finding the prime factors in a large number much faster than classical computers. Algorithms like Shor's have been around since the 90s to do this, but we've never had the quantum hardware to actually run them. In theory, when quantum computers get to around 2000 qubits, they should be able to break widely used encryption systems like RSA, using simple brute force techniques that would take classical computers millions or billions of years currently. And what's scary is that the Chinese just released their own quantum chip with 504 qubits. That's impressive, but the real thing to watch here is the error rate. Once the error rate gets low enough, we'll hit that inflection point that allows quantum computers to scale up exponentially and change the world in unimaginably good and bad ways. But this timeline has been all messed up since that fateful day on May 28th, 2016. And the best way to keep up as a developer is by hanging out with other developers on daily.dev, the sponsor of today's video.
Really, man.
Yesterday, OpenAI launched something huge, a new thing that's 10 times bigger than anything that's come before it. Unfortunately, I'm not talking about model weights or reasoning abilities, but only the price tag. The new ChatGPT Pro Max comes in at $200 per month and is designed for power users with unlimited access to the new O1 model. But most importantly, OpenAI is
owns RTX 490 for prompting, but leaves all programmers obsolete in 6 months. Don't steal my prompts, bro. Pays $30 for ChatGPT. Learn to prompt or fall behind. Puts prompt engineer on resume unironically.
Power users with unlimited access to the new O1 model. But most importantly, OpenAI is in a life or death race to protect itself from its rivals who are becoming more and more powerful. On the same day of the launch of ChatGPT Pro, OpenAI also got some bad news. One of Elon's top allies, David Sachs, was named as Trump's AI crypto czar. Sam Altman congratulated the new czar on Twitter, to which Elon replied with a sinister laugh. It's funny because Elon recently became the head of an imaginary government agency called Doge, and coincidentally just filed an injunction in court preventing OpenAI from going non-profit to for-profit. In today's video, we'll look at the good, the bad, and the ugly of OpenAI's uncertain future. It is December 7th, 2024, and we're watching the Code Report. Before we get into the ridiculous web of Silicon Valley drama with OpenAI and the PayPal mafia, let's first talk about ChatGPT Pro. This new $200 per month plan doesn't give you access to any new models that you don't have on the $20 per month plus plan, but it does give you unlimited access to GPT-4o and O1. Like currently on the plus plan, you can only send 50 messages per week to O1. Now, O1 is their quote-unquote reasoning model, and it scores really high on coding and math benchmarks. It feels similar to other models, but has the ability to prompt itself over and over again using a technique called chain of thought, which generates reasoning tokens, and has the ability to solve more complex problems, especially when it comes to math and programming. However, this requires a lot more computing power, and on the Pro plan, you get something called Pro Mode to apparently do even better on these benchmarks. And as an early adopter of any AI slop they'll feed me, I can confirm that O1 Pro Mode is actually quite impressive. It almost correctly built a Svelte 5 app, and just look at this $200 SVG unicorn. That's impressive, but I still don't think I'll be buying it for my kids this Festivus. But unfortunately for OpenAI, their massive lead in the AI space is diminishing faster and faster. OpenAI is currently valued at $157 billion, yet their actual revenue is only $300 million per month, and they're currently losing billions of dollars per year on infrastructure and compute costs. And that means they'll need to continue seeing massive growth in revenue to justify this valuation, but they're also facing a bunch of other headwinds. Like for one, they have no moat. Models like Claude and Gemini are arguably just as good, if not better, in certain situations. And open models like Llama and
Chat, realistically, they should sell now, right? Because with all the hardships they're getting, all the roadblocks, right? Other people will probably, it only takes a couple of good things to go right for them to lose their lead. Like, let's be honest. They hit a bad roadblock, and some other company gets like a massive boom, and they lose, and then now the company's worth like fucking pennies at that point, right?
Mistral are not far behind. Over the last year, Altman has been trying to use the government to achieve capture and crush this competition, but now it's too late, and he's facing a big Elon problem. You see, a few years
brother, why do we have what the fuck?
This competition, but now it's too late, and he's
why do we have Black Elon Musk? Why, dude? I gotta fuck with it though. Just gotta hold on.
Facing a big Elon problem. You see, a few years ago, Elon Musk Musk overpaid for a failing social media website called Twitter is so he could ban this college kid's account who made a Python app to track the location of his private jet. Everyone laughed at him, but it turns out it was in fact a 5D chess move. He parlayed his Twitter purchase to make another crazy bet to support Trump for president, and now that bet is paying off in a big way because guess who just became Trump's AI czar? Fellow African-American and member of the PayPal mafia, David Sachs. He's been one of Elon's most loyal supporters and also has his own AI company called Glue. But the bigger conflict here is Elon's ongoing battle with OpenAI. He was an original co-founder who donated more than $44 million to it as a non-profit, and now that their plan is to transition to for-profit, he believes he's been defrauded out of this money. The current rumor
Well, I mean,
and now that their plan is to transition to for-profit, he believes he's been defrauded out of this money. The current rumor is that Sam Altman will get a 7% stake in OpenAI worth about $11 billion. And that's just not fair because Elon's currently only worth $343 billion, but he really should be worth $354 billion. But Elon also has his own AI company xAI with Grok, and OpenAI has been telling its investors not to invest in competitors like xAI.
you can always make more money. And if you did a deal to make more money and you're not getting that, even if you're worth $0, $300 billion, it's still your rightful money. Don't make a deal with somebody because they have a lot of money on the fact that they're not going to get that money because you can scam them because they have too much money. Nope. Nope, 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 no, 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 no.
And Altman also got busted posting misleading tweets about Grok, and that prompted Elon to give him the nickname of Swindly Sam. And because of this, the Doge father recently filed an injunction to stop OpenAI from going for profit, where it accused it and its affiliates, including Microsoft, of anti-competitive practices. Despite the obvious threat, Altman took the high road and said, quote, "I may turn out to be wrong."
Yeah. Bro needs to go to the dentist low-key.
But I believe pretty strongly that Elon will do the right thing. It would be profoundly un-American to use political power to hurt your competitors and advantage your own business. Only time will tell how this all plays out, but if you really want to
because they're mad. The gums are mad. If your gums are mad, you gotta go to the dentist, yo.
leverage this tech, you need to learn it from the ground up.
Your gums
and you
shouldn't
can
be
do
mad.
that today for free thanks to this video sponsor, Brilliant. Their platform provides interactive hands-on lessons that demystify the complexity of deep learning. With just a few minutes of effort each day, you can understand the math and computer science.
Thank you. Much love.